So one of the reasons I was interested in doing a video about Coolidge is because it's very interesting, and as I said, it's a significant historic town, probably quite overlooked, but its beginnings have prehistoric beginnings with the Hohokam. Well, that's actually a made-up name by the archaeologists, but it was the North American indigenous group of people who actually are the ones who cultivated cotton in the Salt River and other parts of central and southern Arizona. So then that tribe suddenly disappeared, and I do a whole video on the ancient ruins, and that's another significant reason for this town, Coolidge, and it is worth taking a visit to. I know some people are interested perhaps in moving there for a winter place, or just kind of seeing what the town is like. So this is pretty much a drive-through video. It's been 15 or more years since we've driven through here, and of course it's changed a lot, like everything. And the other thing about this town is that, well, it because it was really one of the first cotton growing places in modern history, like at the turn of the century, 1925 is when they first really started the plantations around Coolidge, and the cotton gins sprung up around Coolidge. So it made a significant area for the farming, I guess you call it farming, of cotton. And of course, along with that, you have a lot of enslavements because it was still okay to have slaves, and there were numerous slaves in the area, of course, to pick the cotton. And when I first came to Coolidge, perhaps, I don't know, it was 15 or 20 years ago, as you drove around the town, you could actually see more of the lower part of society and some of the not so nice places where these people lived. And although a lot of that's been cleaned up right now, you can still kind of get a feeling of depression around this area. It just doesn't feel right to me. I'm the kind of person that goes a lot with my intuitive feelings about places. It's not someplace I would actually feel comfortable living. However, there is a lot of newer real estate developments here, and there are some over 50 RV parks. In fact, I've known people who've lived here in Coolidge and they never said anything about that. So you have to make your own decision as far as that goes. But driving through, even though a lot of the sadness has been erased physically, it seems like it still exists within there. And I'm not sure how Coolidge sits today, but it never really got developed like a lot of the other places because of that, and it was a good place for the heirs of the slaves to live and reside, and I think that they did for a long time. But because historically it's so significant, it's a pretty interesting place, and there are lots of museums here, lots of things you can learn about history if you take the time to spend in Coolidge. The fact that the land is arid, just like Egypt, is one of the reasons why cotton grows so well here. And that was discovered in the early 1900s when the cotton boom began. And they grew a cotton, Pima cotton, and that's was, I don't know if the county was named after the cotton or the cotton was named after the county, but Pima cotton has long fibers, so it's a really high quality cotton. And believe it or not, the cotton industry is really what was the economic boost behind the development of the whole Phoenix and greater Phoenix area back in the, at the turn of the century. They grew enough cotton to provide jeans for every single person in the entire United States. So a lot of people don't realize that, but cotton in Arizona was very significant to the current developments that have occurred. And of course, whoever expected this southwest area to grow as much as it did, but you can really credit that to the cotton industry.
Okay, so we're just going back to take a look at the old building there. I found out it was a Army barracks, and then it was like a VFW, but I have a feeling it probably was used for something else. And then next to it is a women's club built in 1928 for public activities.
And then also another interesting fact is there's a town nearby called Goodyear, which obviously is named after the Goodyear Tire Company, and they leased over 24,000 acres to grow cotton, and that really encouraged and helped the cotton industry. At one time, they wanted to call Goodyear Egypt, but then they changed it to Goodyear because of the Goodyear Tire Company. But it's all because the land is very similar to Egypt, which of course is another big, big cotton growing place in the world. So
okay, coming up is the armory, which they renamed for a commander who was shot in Iraq.
if you are interested in studying ancient history, of course, going to the ruins here is fascinating, and you can check out my other video on that, which is the previous video to this one. And I'm putting a lot of links in the description for people who want to learn about the history. And also, if you're interested in real estate, this kind of gives you a sense of what it looks like around the town. And it seems that it is probably still in a pretty major growth spurt, because I think the real estate is still somewhat affordable, however, overpriced, like most places are these days.
So if you are interested in real estate and thinking about moving to Southwest Arizona, I would definitely come and check the town out personally before you make any decisions, and create your own opinions. Spend a few days, see what you think. So we're just cruising around a little bit more so you can continue to get a sense of the town. Tell me what you think in the comments. I mean, you can't tell that much from driving around on a video. Kind of boring, actually, but it does give you a sense if you're thinking about Coolidge, Arizona. goats and galloping goose.
Galloping goose. Looks like the galloping goose has been a joint for a while. Sounds kind of 50s-ish.
Well, there's no better place to close this video than with the galloping goose right behind me. We were pretty surprised at Coolidge. It has grown so much. Anyway, for all of you who haven't been here or were thinking of coming here, well, here you're seeing it firsthand. We just kind of drove by, but yeah, it's not like it used to be. Well, that's true everywhere. Anyway, thanks for watching Travels with Lucky, and stay tuned for the next Arizona adventure.